Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated UFC legend and Hall of Famer, has always been a deeply principled fighter and coach. His views on the current state of the UFC, especially regarding the potential fight between his prodigy Islam Makhachev and Belal Muhammad, reflect his loyalty, ethical stance, and respect for his fellow fighters. Recently, Khabib made it clear that the idea of Makhachev fighting Muhammad doesn't sit well with him, and he revealed his discomfort with the potential matchup during a discussion on the Pound for Pound podcast, hosted by Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman. Islam Makhachev, who currently holds the UFC lightweight title, has been vocal about his desire to move up to the welterweight division in pursuit of dual champ status. However, his plans to challenge for the 170-pound title have been complicated by the presence of Belal Muhammad, who has firmly established himself as one of the top contenders in the division. Muhammad, who recently defeated Sean Brady at UFC 280, has been on an impressive 11-fight unbeaten streak, earning him recognition as one of the toughest and most well-rounded fighters in the welterweight division. His skills in both striking and wrestling make him a versatile and dangerous opponent, and his recent rise to the top has earned him a rightful spot in the title conversation. Despite the obvious competitive nature of a potential Makhachev versus Muhammad fight, Khabib revealed that his heart isn't okay with the idea of helping Makhachev prepare for a fight against his close training partner. Khabib admitted that, if he were still an active fighter, he would not want to face Belal Muhammad under any circumstances. His personal connection to Muhammad, who has trained with Khabib and his team on numerous occasions, makes it difficult for the former champion to envision his fighters clashing in the octagon. If they had asked me to fight with Belal when I was an active fighter, I would have said no, Khabib said, clearly emphasizing his personal relationship with Muhammad. But for example, Belal and Islam, okay, you have to talk with them. My heart is not okay. It would be hard to prepare Islam to beat Belal. Khabib's honesty about the emotional and ethical conflict he faces in such a scenario is refreshing, as it reveals the deep respect he has for the fighters he trains and for Muhammad, who has been a consistent presence in the team's training camps. Khabib, who has cornered Muhammad in his past UFC bouts, has been vocal about his admiration for the welterweight champion's fighting style and his resilience. The Russian MMA legend elaborated on the difficulty of preparing for someone like Belal, acknowledging his ability to mix wrestling and striking fluidly over the course of 5 rounds. According to Khabib, beating Muhammad requires a dominant performance, one that would involve stopping him before the fight reaches the judges' scorecards. Khabib outlined the challenges that Makhachev would face if he ever fought Muhammad, stating, "I don't think that it's ever going to happen. For me, it's going to be very hard to prepare somebody to beat Belal. If you want to beat Belal, I think you have to stop him. Without a stoppage, it's going to be very hard. What are you going to do?" The challenge of dealing with Muhammad's well-rounded skill set is clear to Khabib. He explained that it would be difficult for Makhachev to control Muhammad on the ground for 25 minutes, given the latter's strong defensive wrestling and cardio. Additionally, Muhammad's striking game is highly underrated, and his ability to mix up his attacks combining striking and wrestling seamlessly makes him a difficult puzzle to solve. Khabib highlighted the difficulty of staying ahead of Muhammad throughout a 5-round contest, noting that his opponent's adaptability and ability to keep pressure on his adversary would make it incredibly challenging for any fighter to dominate him. Khabib's perspective is rooted not only in his understanding of Muhammad's abilities, but also in his respect for the welterweight champion as a fellow athlete. Having spent significant time with Muhammad both as a teammate and as a coach, Khabib has a unique insight into the challenges Muhammad poses to his opponents. This deep familiarity adds a layer of personal sentiment to Khabib's comments, as he is clearly emotionally invested in Muhammad's success and doesn't want to see his fighter and his prodigy go head-to-head in a fight that he believes could undermine their bond. Instead of advocating for Makhachev versus Muhammad, Khabib suggested an alternative matchup that would be more in line with the natural progression of the welterweight division, a fight between Belal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman. Khabib, who has worked closely with Usman in the past, firmly believes that the former welterweight champion deserves another shot at the title. Usman, who was once considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the UFC, has recently faced challenges, including a loss to Leon Edwards in their highly anticipated trilogy fight. However, Khabib remains a staunch believer in Usman's skill set and ability to rebound from setbacks. "I think I want to see that fight, Muhammad versus Usman," Khabib said. "I want to see it because Camara deserves this. People can say whatever they want. Camara deserves this fight." Khabib's unwavering support for Usman demonstrates his belief in the Nigerian Nightmare's talent, as well as his respect for the hardships that Usman has endured throughout his career. Usman's journey has been one of perseverance, and Khabib believes that Usman is still a top contender who deserves another crack at the title. He also acknowledged that there are other potential contenders like Shavkat Rakhmonov who are in the mix, but he believes Usman's path to a title shot should not be dismissed so easily. Khabib's comments about Usman are likely to resonate with many fans, as the former champion's legacy in the UFC is undeniable. Usman's reign as welterweight champion was one of dominance, and his performances against top-tier opponents such as Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns, and Tyron Woodley solidified his place as one of the best fighters in the division's history. Although he is coming off losses to Edwards, Usman's resilience and skill make him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the welterweight division. Khabib's endorsement of Usman is a reminder of the respect he has for the fighter's abilities, and it suggests that he believes Usman's best days may still lie ahead. In conclusion, Khabib Nurmagomedov's insights into the potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Belal Muhammad reflect his deep understanding of the sport, as well as his loyalty to the fighters he trains. While he respects both Makhachev and Muhammad, Khabib's discomfort with the idea of the two facing off stems from his personal relationships with each fighter and his belief in the challenges Muhammad presents. Instead, Khabib advocates for a more natural progression in the welterweight division, with Muhammad facing Kamaru Usman as a potential title contender. His comments highlight the complexities of matchmaking in the UFC and the deep bonds that are formed within the sport, where respect for one another can sometimes take precedence over competition.